Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the showdown between the Beastmen, who shall be led by Morker, the King of Dreadlocks, who's going to be facing off against the last defenders, who shall be helmed by the dreaded Banana Slan. So as far as the build goes, we're not going to be giving the Lizardmen a head-on fight, because I found that if you try and grind out with the Lizardmen in just an infantry fight, so you get Bestigors, you go in there just rock hard, it's going to be tough because they have Temple Guard and Swords are very, very meaty. There's the Shield of the Old Ones. Lord Croak is going to be so good at killing elite infantry, so going a little bit more spread out, kind of forcing them apart and picking them off, I found to be a little bit better with the Beastmen. So in the back line, we do have the Eye of Morsleep, and the Eye of Morsleep is just going to be going downtown and just trying to pick off the Temple Guard and the Swords and the elite troops, and generally he's pretty accurate, and on top of that, he does have a snare, so once you get close, you could slow them down, you could slow down high-value targets. The Eye of Morsleep is a very, very good unit. So we're going to be dropping some bows over here on the Star Chamber Guardians, and hopefully it'll pay off. Now, as far as the infantry goes, it's going to be pretty pathetic. We do have Ungor Herds here, and here across the map, so we're going to be advancing them, attacking from angles, and basically just trying to pull the Lizardmen apart, because oftentimes I've been seeing these Death Stars with Temple Guard and Croak, and like I said, if you try and fight them head up, it's going to be really ugly. So we're going to be trying to pull them apart. We do also have two groups of Centaurs with great weapons, so just in case they had some big armored dinos, I wasn't going to be going with throwing axes this game. I was trying something a little bit different. Now, throwing axes are very, very good against dinos, but I wanted to try Centaurs with great weapons, Cygors, plus Minotaurs in the back line to kind of isolate and pick them apart. So we got two groups of Centaurs with great weapons, each of which is going to be teamed up with some Warhounds. In the back, we have Minotaurs with great weapons to take on the big dinos, and they're going to be pretty good against like Carnosaurs and even the big thick toads themselves. They're large targets and they're large entities, so they will take that nice bonus versus large. And we do also have the Butchers of Kalkengard back here, who are they're not bonus versus large, but they're healing, they're shielded, which is very good against skinks and that cheap fire. So we're going to see how these guys do. In the back, we also have Ungor Spears, and we do have a Wildcaster. So we're going to be summoning a second Cygor, and hopefully it'll pay off. So for the build of my opponent in the front line, it is relatively elite, not like pure Temple Guard, but nonetheless, it's got some meat. So four groups of Saurus, and Saurus are pretty powerful against Beastmen. The only thing that they'll probably lose to in the front line is going to be Bestigors, but think about it. If I bring Bestigors, I lose to Croak. So he's in pretty good position with these guys. So we're really going to have to, like I said, isolate them. So four of them in the front line. So four Saurus. He does also have the Star Chamber Guardians in the back, who are going to be providing Guardian to the Double Toad Squad. So of course, Lord Croak has all those good buffs, the Supreme Shield of the Old Ones, Deliverance of Pizza, and yeah, all kinds of good stuff. And he's got the Slime Mage here, who has Light, so he has Bronus Time Warp, Nuts of Ammontalk, as well as Frost Protection, but most likely he's going to be using, most of the Croak spells. But what's really powerful about the double Slan is you get the double shield, so you can have like a Death Star that's just going to be taking barely any damage for a long, long period of time. In the back, he does have the Colossadon Hunters, which are anti-large specialists, and these guys will tear apart, pretty much anything they get on, right? But they're going to be taking damage back as well. They have low melee defense, so if I'm able to kind of swamp them, I could be okay. But they're going to be really good against like Centaurs and Minotaurs if they can get those rear charges, and they will kill a Cygor so damn fast, so I have to be really careful. He does also have a Feral Carnosaur on the other side, and the Hopox cohort, I got it right for once, that's pretty awesome. So he does have these guys in the back, anti-large, so he has plenty of anti-large for sure, and answers against Minotaurs, so we're going to see if we can make this work. So on that note, guys, let's party. So the boulders are going to be coming downtown from the Eye of Morsleep, and it doesn't look like we made great contact. I think we took out 4 models from the Star Chamber Guardians, but they're still pretty healthy. And here comes another boulder, going to be going right over the Toad, and it looks like it makes some pretty good contact into the front, doing some decent HP damage. And now we have a second group. It does look like it chips the skinks there, but I'm most certainly targeting these guys. The Cycle Charge over here, we're going to be jumping in against Saurus, trying to get some value, but he does swoop in with the Colossadon Hunters and kind of fends me off here. And on the other side, it looks like he's trying to take a fight with the Feral Carnosaur as well as the Hopox cohort. But seeing this, I was like, you know what? This is a pretty good opportunity. Let's rush the Minotaurs at the dinosaur here, screen out the Cav units using the Ungor Herds, and maybe we'll be able to get a kill on the Carnosaur. It's still hard to say, but that's kind of the goal here. So in the meantime, frontline fight, we're just kind of pulling back. We're not giving the fight. Ungors are pretty fast, 41 speed against the 31 of the Saurus, so we're just kind of pulling back, trying to get charges. And right now, we're pulling it apart, right? We have the Saurus over here, which is good. We're going to collapse and isolate them. We have a fight over here. So now there's not a Death Star for the Slan to just, have a hard on for. So over here in the main fight, you can see the Minotaurs are going to be trying to get past the Hopox cohort. So I rush everything at the Hopox cohort. God damn it, I hate that. And the Minotaurs with the great weapons are going to be piling in against the Feral Carnosaur, getting huge damage. Just look at the burst on that big dino. So quite happy about that. And the other Minotaurs are going to be jumping into the front line, attacking Saurus Warriors, and they're going to be taking these guys to Pound Town for sure. These big milk cows, quite happy about that. And the Cygors, they don't take that steady damage anymore. They do take like a tiny bit, but like I said, the Cygor's almost gone. Like that nerf to summoning, I think it's really good for balance. So this Cygor is going to be disappearing here in just a moment, but we've gotten some really good damage here on the Star Chamber Guardians. And you can see with that burst damage we've gotten, we're already a little bit ahead on the balance of power, but that's also partially because we do have a Cygor back there. Now you can see the Deliverance of Pizza does get dropped here, and it pretty much kills my Centaurs with great weapons and pushes them back. Minotaurs are going to be retreating. I realized this was a losing fight. He does also have the Colossodon Hunters coming over. He drops an Amnitok also. So the Colossodon Hunters coming in with a big old chub, going to be just feasting on these Minotaurs. That is going to be brutal. He's probably going to pop Toad Rage, I would imagine, or maybe he used it earlier on the other group. And I countercharge with the Poison Hounds. Poison Hounds will actually do good damage. Centaurs do come back in, so you can see very squishy. I mean, we're turning that damage around. He does break the Minotaurs, but it's so far so good. On the other side, we do have a pretty decent little fight, so we're able to isolate some Saurus, so we get a 2-versus-1 fight, so we get the Centaurs and the Ungors piling in, and almost breaking those guys, so quite happy about that. And in the main fight, this is why Morker is so good. There was a big infantry corps coming, so I pull in some Ungor Spears, which obviously aren't great, but I summon Chaos Spawn with his staff, and the Minotaurs with the Butchers of Kalkengard pile in as well. And Minotaurs are very mobile, but you can see the Deliverance of Pizza is going to be coming down, nuking a couple of guys. It doesn't hurt Lizardmen troops, but you have to be very aware. If you see Croak, I highly recommend playing from a perspective like this and just kind of like constantly looking around the battlefield, just making sure stuff isn't happening like that. Banishment, not as bad. It's just going to be going into Chaos Spawn, and it won't, like, you know, I mean, if it kills a couple on board, that's fine, but I figure we can keep fighting. So the Saurus here actually get broken and terrified by the Butchers of Kalkengard, and on the other side, we got that fight going. So we were able to re-surround this Feral Carnosaur, so we got Hounds, we got great weapons. He has 95 armor, but nonetheless, he can't really get away here. He should probably just turn and fight, and I think he was going to be sending over the Colossodon Hunters, but at this point, he realized he probably needs him over in the main fight. The Bounce Power, like I said, pretty heavily in my favor, but that's because Chaos Spawn and summons and all kinds of stuff like that really does falsely inflate it, but we're still getting some really good value. And right here, it looks like there's going to be another Banishment or Deliverance of Pizza coming, so I try and run at the last second, and it looks like he does kill a couple of the Ungor Spears. But if you just bring cheap chaff, like if you bring Ungor Spears or just for any other faction, like State Troops, for example, or just, you know, like cheap infantry, it's going to be so good against Croak. He's not going to be able to really get a lot of value and pay for himself. And you can see here the Colossodon Hunters going for a bit of a desperate charge here against Eye of Moresleep. So right now I do countercharge him with the Butchers, and I also have Ungor Spears. I have my Caster, the Bray Shaman here, and Morker is going to be coming back as well in the Pocket cohorts here. And we should be able to overwhelm those guys and push them back. In the meantime, we're just using these Chaos Spawn over here to just kind of pull these guys back. Star Chamber Guardians, very, very elite here. I mean, only 8 kills, but they're still giving Guardian to these nearby troops, which is quite valuable. And over in the distance, we do break the Feral Carnosaur. So we were able to successfully pull apart his army, isolate them, get them with Minotaurs, get them with Centaurs, and you can see here we're going to be chasing off these big nasty dinosaurs, which, if they're allowed to fight together under the leadership and general aura of a Slann, it's very, very tough to beat the dinosaurs. So over here, we're going to be piling in, attacking these Saurus Warriors. We got the big old rocks. We're going to be dropping Saurus Warriors with, they don't have shields, I think, just a standard variant. Should be getting overwhelmed by the Butchers of Kalkengard. On the other side, there are some Saurus coming back in. They did win that 2v1 fight against my Ungors and Centaurs. So great value on those guys. They've certainly paid for themselves. And he does free up the center of the Chaos Spawn. Here you can see that the Colossodon Hunter is going to be going for the kills right here. But I still have the Eye of Moresleep. He actually nails the Slann Mage with a boulder right in the face. So we're probably going to be able to break the army due to army losses relatively soon. Sorry, man, my voice got a little bit scratchy there. But we're probably going to be able to break this Toad here in just a moment, but it'll just be the main Toad left, Lord Croak. Colossodon Hunter is a bit of a Last Samurai charge. I mean, not truly a Last Samurai charge because there wasn't any like Gatling guns going into them as they charge, but you know, they get in there. It's their doom. They're coming to meet. So they charge against the very beat up Minotaurs with great weapons, but I do have the support of Centaurs and Chaff units, and Chaff is very good against these type of units. Colossodon Hunter is not great against like high model count. So they're going to be breaking right there, and from here it's pretty much going to be cleanup of the Deliverance of Itzar. No, actually a Banishment going down, tearing up a bunch of these guys. We'll give you a little bit of a cinematic of some of these Beastmen being torn to shreds by the magic of the Slann. But the Beastmen heard, you know, we got the animal battle here. We got the Beast People versus the Lizards, and it looks like Lord Croak going to be dropping some thunder here as he does go quietly into the Good Night, which is going to be doing a lot of damage. You know, it's a bunched up group of infantry, and at this point, I didn't really care too much to dodge it. I was like, let's just pile in and finish this off. So troops coming in over here. I actually had another Cygor summon in the back pocket, so just in case the game got really close, I was going to drop it later and just, you know, kind of tip the bounce of power there. But you can see here Lord Croak is going to be getting stomped out by the horde of angry beasts. So well played by my opponent. It was a fun game for sure. And like I said, I think if I went with a Bestigors and a very meaty like front line and maybe Centaurs with throwing axes, I think I would have been in some trouble. I don't think I would have been able to beat Croak's cast on the Bestigors. I mean, it's hard to kind of keep track of it. You can, but if you're falling back, the Saurus are then chasing you and hitting you in the back. So it has like a bit of a double-edged purpose in the frontline fight. So I do think that a build like this is pretty good. I'm trying to think how I would handle like a very heavy rush build. I think it'd be pretty good against like, I'm trying to think. So like, you know, Falcon, for example, a very, very good player. He typically runs like a bunch of horn ones and like Lore of Light. I think we might be decent. It's hard to say. Eye of Moresleep is really going to be good against like horn ones and elite builds like that, plus a second Cygor. And like, if you can just stack cheap chaff on top of them and like force them through multiple areas on the battlefield, try and isolate them wherever you can, maybe. It's hard to say. I'll have to grab him for some games and see how it goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this Beastmen vs. Last Defenders game. Again, well played to Batboy Lives. And that's pretty much it for now. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and take care.